goes down again. Post these because I think the heat outside, which is affecting my room, by the way, is what's helping my computer overheat so much. So
Mm-hmm.
let's try to wrap this up. So as we were talking about how I was talking about how like I like Zeke's new look and that his base form includes Belial. Belial is the evil Ultraman.
Yes, Beely is he's black and orange, right? Or black and red?
Black and red. What I like, though, is that they kept Belial's eye shape, but they gave him blue eyes, which I can only ever remember seeing one other time, and that was in Ultraman 2000.
Okay, how old is this villain?
Belial, he goes all the way back to the Ultra 7 continuity. Ultraman Zero, sorry.
What year was that?
I want to say it was the mid-2000s.
Okay.
I could be wrong, because Ultraman Zero is like in a movie series.
Yeah, it was. Ultra Galaxy, wasn't it? Ultra Galaxy.
Yeah, Ultra Galaxy.
Ultra Galaxy Legend. Where we actually first see M78.
Exactly. The Land of Light.
Yep. Everything's made of diamond. Or something. Diamond, right?
Or something along those lines. It looks a lot like Superman's Fortress of Solitude, let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah, it does. And then... But it had better CG than Green Lantern.
It did. That it did. It didn't try to overcomplicate itself. Now that movie actually got me thinking about Ultraman physiology and culture, which we may go into in a little bit when we go into open discussion. But for now, I just wanted to note that it's like we only saw a few Ultramen with blue eyes in that, and they were never main characters.
No.
As a matter of fact, they were all background characters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I like that Zeke has blue eyes in his base form.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to go into ultra culture now?
Might as well. Now, all we can do as far as Ultraman culture goes is speculate. So, what that means is...
First of all, do they have a race, a name for their alien race? Like an actual name?
They just call themselves the Ultras.
Okay.
Secondly, we know that there are at least two sexes of Ultraman. We can say for sure that there's the male sex and the female sex.
Yes.
Also, they have very little need for clothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what you see on them is not meant to be a helmet and a suit. That is actually meant to be their bare skin and their head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, a sufficiently advanced society that...
They do wear... Some of them wear capes.
Some of them wear capes, but that's more of a badge of office than clothing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like Ultra King wears one, Ultra Father wears one. The Ultra Brothers, when they are in court, wear those capes. But it's not really an article of clothing; it's a ceremonial thing. We can assume that much safely. On top of that, from what we can assume is that Ultra Father and Ultra Mother, when their children reach a certain age, they send them to Earth to learn what it's like to live among humans as a rite of passage, and their job is to protect those humans.
Mm-hmm. So, Ultra Father and Ultra Mother are like the parents of every Ultra?
No, just the Ultra Brothers.
Okay.
The Ultra Brothers are, I believe, Ultraman, Ultra 7, Taro, I don't think 80.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to do some thinking. But Mebius, Ultraman Mebius, is one of the Ultra Brothers. He is the youngest Ultra Brother. And I kind of want to talk about
Who is the oldest?
The oldest would be the oldest would be Ultraman.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Now, I want to talk a bit about the color timer, because I mentioned before that that's an organ that actually flashes and changes color. Are you watching the same stream that I'm watching? Because, all right, like, can you see the comments just in case?
Yeah, let me check.
While you're doing that, that's an organ, an internal organ. Some of them have it, others don't.
Yeah.
Or rather, it's an external organ, I should say. Now, we could speculate as to what makes it flash. I want to know why it flashes. Because it only flashes when an Ultraman is running out of energy, when they're growing weaker or overly damaged. Why would it do that? If they should already be able to feel somehow that they're weak or tired or hurt. I think, there goes Kenny. I'll invite him back in. But anyway, I think, sit down, cat. I think that it's an involuntary cry for help. Oh, there you are.
Sorry, let me try it on my iPad. I'm trying to get up the chat also.
Yeah, that's what that's the main thing I'm looking for. Anyway, I think that the color timer is an involuntary cry for help from other nearby ultras or friendlies. Why do I think this? Because many creatures actually have a distress call. And even humans have one. It's when we scream in pain or fear. It's not a voluntary reaction.
No.
Now, you may also see Ultramen that look like they're wearing armor in their base form. That's actually, according to the Ultra Wiki, a thicker skin, almost like fingernail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's typically a genetic trait passed down from father to son.
So he's wearing...
No. It's like if your dad has blue eyes, there's a chance you have blue eyes, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
For instance, Ultraman Zero has the same kind of body armor pattern, or the thick skin pattern, that Ultra 7 has, because Ultra 7 is Ultraman Zero's father. Spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ultra 7 is whose?
Ultra 7 is the father of Ultraman Zero.
Right. All right, I'm on the thing. Let me check the chat.
Okay, Sar.
Looks like that one's not live. Here it is.
So, while you're doing that, I also want to talk about color patterns, because, again, as far as we're aware, unless they have been altered in some way or another, there are two basic colors of Ultra, blue and red. Now, Ultraman Tiga and Ultraman Gaia would suggest that the red Ultras are more powerful, while the blue Ultras are more intelligent or fast. Although that's not a lot to go on. What we do know, though, is that for the most part, red Ultras are allowed to join the Space Garrison, which is led by Ultra Father. Right. And then Ultra Mother, who leads the Silver Cross Corps, a scientific research and medicinal group, mainly employs blue Ultras. And just because, like,
Hero is a blue Ultra.
Yes, and now that is not to say that you cannot have Ultramen with combinations of colors. It does happen. As a matter of fact, it happens quite a lot. again, this is all speculation, but I believe that when an Ultra has a color pattern consisting of red and blue, it means that they had a parent, one parent that was red and one parent that was blue, or a grandparent, and so on.
That's actually a really good theory, man. I never actually thought about that.
Now, I want to talk about super modes too, because remember, unless it specifically says that they're putting on armor, or a Tector as they're called, naked. So I want to talk about super modes. That is a very physical change, and it often involves more ferocious patterns, bright colors, and a physical flaring out of their head. I think that's a threat display. Like when a cobra flares out its hood. Did you get that?
I think, yeah, I got it. I'm here.
Okay. So you went quiet for a second. So I was just waiting for your opinion on that.
Repeat it, please.
That Ultraman super modes,
yes,
are a threat display because it involves brighter colors, more jagged or angular patterns, or at least brighter patterns, and a flaring out of a growth of fins and horns on the head.
Yeah. It depends. Like, I'll tell you, like, one of my favorite Ultraman forms is Ultraman Saga, which is a super form of Zero, if I'm correct.
It's Zero and two other Ultras fused together.
Okay. That's one of my favorites, which is probably why I love the Power Ranger movies. Saga's suit is literally layered armor, and it has a glowing chest plate that's like you see space into it. I just think it looks cool, and his head is like really detailed and realistic with the horns going several spikes.
It looks like he's trying to look threatening, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think, again, that is a biological thing, and that it's a warning to stay away.
Okay.
Like snakes have.
That would make sense.
Now, and I know this is a naughty subject, but I want to talk reproduction real quick.
Okay.
Now, while we do at least know of two sexes, male and female, there could be more, I'm not sure. We know that they were very much like humans at one point. We've never actually seen, of course, an Ultra baby. We've seen younger Ultras, but we've never seen a baby. But when we look at, say, the Ultra 7 movie, we see a male and a female Ultra walking down the street towards the end of the movie. And the female Ultra is carrying a silver capsule in her arms, like so. And the male Ultra walking next to her with his arm about her shoulder lays his hand upon it very gently. I think that's an incubator.
Ooh.
I think the plasma...
You think what?
I think the plasma spark, the artificial star that has altered their physiology so far from humanity, altered them so much that they must incubate their children outside of their bodies in order to ensure survival.
Okay.
And that's just a theory based off of a very brief, or a hypothesis based off of a very brief clip.
Okay, I'm up with to believe into that.
It would all.
Is anyone watching? Hold on,
also why Ultra didn't know that his father was Ultra 7.
Right. Also, I want to see if anyone's watching, so that way.
No one yet.
And did you hear them?
I've got a little counter down here.
Fan questions.
I don't think there's any sense in doing fan questions.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because no one's here. You just want to call it off now.
Well, keep in mind this does turn into a video later, so we'll wrap it up. I just want to finish this thought. This couple of thoughts
okay.
I've got. Can we go into technology for a little bit?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, ultra devices, change devices, have certain names, and the themes in those names can give you clues as to what they do. For instance, capsules make a lot of sense, but also the word spark, and this is why it's a big thing in the manga, because their star, their artificial sun, is called the plasma spark. And then a lot of change devices have the word spark in their name. According to the manga, it's because they have a tiny little piece of that plasma spark in those devices, so that they carry a piece of their homeworld with them, so that if they're ever away from their star for too long, they can rely on this device.
I think I'm with you on that.
Then let's talk about sluggers, because these are a little different. And what I'm talking about are the I slugger, the zero slugger, the X slugger, and the ultra slugger.
The slugger are those little devices that you put cards in, right?
No. Like the I slugger was Ultra 7's transformation device. It was a pair of glasses that he put on his eyes, and then he would become Ultraman 7. But then his horn, which he can remove and throw, was then referred to as the I slugger. The same thing with Zero's Zero sluggers. His horns were his Zero sluggers. The X slugger was the blade that X pulled from his head in his final form.
Okay.
And I believe it's the same thing with the orb slugger. So I believe that the term slugger is reserved for any device that has multiple functions that is carried or worn on the head. Thoughts?
Well, with me, I liked the idea of Ultraman X pulling the thing out of his head. Again, I didn't get that far in, so I don't briefly know what you're talking about. So, in terms of that, I can't really bring up a thought on it other than it's cool. But devices, a lot of these devices, I really don't know what you're talking about, because the only Ultraman I've seen are and part of X, and I've seen the toys around.
That's fair.
So if you had yeah.
I'm not taking care of it this time. It's your turn.
Expertise lie in 1966 Ultraman.
Fair enough. I've watched a lot of the newer series. Anyway, I think that's a good place to stop. Looks like we don't have any viewers. I apologize for all the connection issues. The heat is probably screwing with my connection somehow. We'll try to have it resolved by tomorrow evening.
And I will try to be on the dojo tomorrow night. It's probably not, just because of timing and my job. But if that's the case, I will definitely be back in August.
Yes, and I want you to know that I know JT won't be able to make it tomorrow night.
I'll be here for TokuCHATsu.
Obviously. But I know JT won't be able to make it tomorrow night. But if Kenny can't make it, I will host it by myself.
Yes. But again, I will try, but it is unlikely. But I will be here every Saturday for TokuCHATsu unless some drastic thing happens.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that's a good way to wrap it up. Once again, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for all the trouble we've had this evening. It should be resolved. I'll try my best to resolve it tomorrow by tomorrow evening. So until then, I will see you later, Bugheads.
These last 2 weeks have been weird with our streams.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has come up. Okay.
On all ends.
Are you gonna say goodbye?
Guys,